All right, let me make sure I got this here. There we go. See if I can make this a little bit bigger. It's not going to let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, no problem. All right, so I am super excited to make this Facebook Live for you guys today. We're going to talk about the top 5 things holding you back from doing your first wholesale deal. So if you're a completely new investor that's been struggling to get started, I wanted to make this video to share with you the top 5 things that I see that hold new investors back. Now, the reason why I wanted to compile this list is because I've been wholesaling and investing in real estate for almost 20 years. I've been coaching people for over the last 10 years. And I have to say that literally I can boil almost every issue that new investors have down to these 5 things. Okay. So what I want to do is put this video together for you to help you identify if one of these things is holding you back and show you how to push past it. Or if you're completely new, making sure that you have these 5 things in mind so that way you can avoid them and not fall into the same trap as most people. So again, for those of you that are kind of new to this Facebook page, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brian Haskins. I've been investing in real estate for almost 20 years. I created this Facebook group to share with you guys really awesome content and training like this. I do work one-on-one with students. So as you're going through this, if you guys find that you like some of this content and you want to find out more about working directly with me to help you set your wholesaling business up, I'll share with you guys some ways that we can potentially work together as well. But let's go ahead and jump in. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. I'm hopefully going to keep this to about 30 minutes or so, but wanted to make a really awesome video for you all today. So make sure that if you guys can hear me, drop a comment below. Let me know that you guys can hear me okay. Give me some thumbs up, some likes, some hearts, all that stuff to let me know that you guys are excited for what I got to share with you today. Okay, so let's go in here. First slide is, what are we going to cover today? Well, what we're going to cover is we're going to talk about why so many new investors fail in this business. There's probably somewhat of upwards of a 90% fail rate in this business. And a lot of the reasons why are going to be what we cover today. But seriously, if you can avoid some of these common pitfalls I'm going to share with you, the likelihood that you're going to be able to do your first deal and be successful as a wholesaler is going to skyrocket. Okay. We'll talk about how you can prevent these things. What are the top 5 reasons that hold so many new investors back? And what are the top 10% of successful investors doing right now? And then how you can make a few changes and close your first deal in the next 30 to 60 days. So again, we've got some really awesome stuff ready to go for you guys. So let's talk about the top 5 things holding you back from doing your first deal. So these are not in any particular order, and we're going to cover them in a lot more detail, but just to give you a quick overview. First of all, focusing on the wrong things. So if you're focusing your time on the wrong things, you're not going to see the results you're looking for. Another big one that I see a lot is lack of proper education. Okay. Now, most of you don't need more education. You just need the proper foundation and the right education. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The biggest one that I see a lot is lack of implementation. Okay. So a lot of people, and we're going to get a lot deeper on these, but a lot of people find themselves thinking they're doing the things that they need to be doing, but they're actually focusing on things that are not going to make them any money. So lack of implementation on the right things, choosing the wrong marketing strategies for your budget, and giving up too quickly. Those are the top 5 things that I see so many new investors face in their wholesaling business. All right, so let's talk about the very first one, and that's going to be focusing on the wrong things. All right, so this is a big one. And again, this is not the number one reason. I don't have them in any particular order, but I just wanted to list out the top 5 things. So for those of you that, if this resonates with you, drop a comment below. But if you think you're focusing on the wrong things or don't know what to focus on as a new investor, drop a comment below and let me know. Okay, so here's the big thing. As a new investor, when you're first getting started, so many new investors get wrapped up in trying too much. All right. And what I mean by that is they're trying so hard to get their first deal that they are focusing all their time and energy on doing too much. They're trying to do 4 different real estate strategies. They're trying to do subject to, they're trying to do owner finance, they're trying to do wholesale, they're trying to do JV. And what happens is a lot of times they get wrapped up in chasing the next great thing, the next shiny object or the next strategy. So here's the issue that you're going to run into is that there's so much information out there. It's easy to think that you need to do all these things to try to put your first deal together. A lot of new investors get so caught up in thinking, if I just do this one thing, it's going to put me over the edge to help me do that first deal. Let me know if you ever felt that way. Now, that's the way that I felt when I first got started, is that I had all this information, but I just felt like there was one secret thing that I needed to know to be able to do that first deal. And the reason why you're feeling that way is because so many gurus and people that sell products out there are great salesmen, and they make you feel that way. All right. So it's not your fault if you think you need to be on all these webinars, or that you think you're going to have to, if you just have this one strategy, or if you just have this one tool or this one software, you're finally going to be able to do your first deal. And look, I have to say that's not going to be the case for 99% of you. And the reason I say that is because there's people that are really good salespeople that are trying to sell you on their thing is the best thing. And that's why I don't sell products or anything like that. I just teach you wholesaling, and I just teach you what's going to work best for you as a new investor. That's the reason why I do coaching and mentoring, is because every situation is different. We have to build a plan that's going to work best for you. Some people have more time, some people have more money to invest. So many people have different strengths and different weaknesses, and you need to be able to play to those strengths and things like that. So thinking that you just need this next great strategy or this next shiny object or this next tool and software to be able to do your first deal, that's not going to be the case. Okay. Another thing that I see so many new investors focus all their time on is they focus so much time on every single lead. They try to make it a deal. How can I make this a deal? Can I do subject to? Can I do this? Can I do that? Look, if it's not a deal, if the seller's not motivated, if they want retail and you're trying to just focus on wholesaling, move on to the next lead. Okay. Your time is going to be better spent finding better leads than it's going to be how do you figure out the right kind of way to convert this into a deal. I'm not saying that you need to give up on deals or give up on leads if there's a potential there, but you need to know when to cut your losses. Don't keep beating a dead horse. If you're having trouble trying to convert that, look, that motivated seller, if they want retail, the likelihood that you're going to convince them into, buying that property at wholesale price is pretty slim. Okay. So you need to know that you can't focus all your time trying to make a deal out of something that's not a good deal. All right. Another big thing that I see so many people focus all their time and energy on is trying to get the entire business set up before they start. Like, I'm not going to do any marketing yet because I got to have my LLC set up. I got to have all my buyers lined up. I got to do all these different things before I start. Look, that is literally you focusing on the wrong thing. All right. The next thing is that so many people focus their time on anything than what is actually going to put a deal on their table. So many things feel important to you as a new investor, but it's likely not going to be really that important. I'm going to share with you here on the next slide what really is important for you as a new investor. So drop a comment below if you feel like you're focusing on the wrong things. Are you trying to chase the next great strategy? Are you out there chasing the next shiny object? Do you feel like, or have you ever felt like, well, if I just have this webinar or this tool or this software or something that I'm on, I'm going to finally be able to close my first deal. All right. So if any of this stuff resonated with you, drop a comment below. Let me know. That way we can help more people. Okay. So let me go on to the next slide here. So the reason why you feel this way is not your fault. And again, like I said, there's so many gurus and so many people out there. There's just so much information, education. People are creating products and training to convince you that you need them. Okay. Look, it's really simple. There's a lot of people out there that are great salespeople that are going to try to convince you that you have to have this. Look, people have been wholesaling forever. Okay. They've done this before without all these tools and without all these different softwares. You can do the same thing with the right guidance and training. And that's what I want to share with you is that, look, don't get wrapped up in thinking that you have to have all these different things. all you really need is a good, proper education. So what we want to focus and spend your time on, all right? These are the things that are most important to you whenever you're thinking about your wholesaling business, okay? First thing is generating quality conversations with sellers every single day. If you're not talking to 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 motivated sellers every single day, you're never going to put a deal together, okay? So many people ask me, what's that magic number? How many people do I need to talk to? Look, there's no guarantees in this business. There's no dead set numbers. I can't say that if you talk to 5 people a day, you're going to generate, one lead, and that's going to turn into 1 deal every single month. It doesn't work that way. And the reason why is because everything is different. Your market's different. The way that you talk to the people are different. The questions you ask, how good you are at negotiating, how good you are at talking to the seller. There's so many variables that go into it. So what you need to focus on is what you can control, and that is generating lots of, or as many high quality conversations with sellers every single day that you possibly can. Drop that in a comment below. If you guys understand, you need to be talking to as many people as you possibly can every single day. All right, drop a comment below. Let me know. Let me know you guys are following along on that, okay? The next thing is focusing on talking to sellers that need to sell, all right? So many people get wrapped up in talking to people on Zillow or for sale by owners or people that have their properties listed on the MLS. You need to focus on people that are in a situation to where they need to sell, not people that want to sell, all right? The next thing you need to focus your time on is go out and meet with homeowners, okay? The reason I say this is going to get you more comfortable with the process. Meet with homeowners, formulate offers. These are the things that you need to spend your time on. Talking to motivated sellers, talking to sellers that need to sell, meeting with homeowners, getting comfortable with the process, formulating your offers, making sure you understand how to formulate offers, and then building relationships with real buyers. If this is what you focus on and the only things that you focus on, you can't help but do a deal. I'm serious about that. If you focus just on these, if you didn't focus on trying to make sure that you had the best CRM set up, or trying to make sure that you've got every single contract lined up, or focusing on that you know exactly what to say to sellers. There's so much busy work that you're probably focusing on, but if you eliminated all of that and just focused on this, no, let me tell you this. What if you just focus 80% of your time on these 5 things and 20% of your time on the other things? All right. You're literally not going to be able to help but to be able to do a deal. I'm serious. This is what you need to focus your time on. Okay. The next thing that I see as a huge obstacle for new investors when they're first getting started, and that is lack of proper education, okay? So there's a fine line here, okay? I don't suggest that you spend all your time collecting information, okay? Most people make the mistake of educating themselves to death. They're on every single YouTube channel, they're on every single webinar, they're on every single podcast, they're on every single blog. 90% of their time is focused on getting education. And I understand why you think that. A lot of people say, well, if I know more about it, if I know everything about it, I'm collecting all the information and then I'm going to get started. Look, you're going to educate yourself to death and you're never going to do a deal, okay? What you need to focus on, get a proper foundation. Learn how to talk to sellers, learn 2 or 3 marketing strategies, learn how to structure a deal. Learn how to set up a closing. Once you understand and have that proper foundation, then all you need to do is focus on implementation. So get yourself a good mentor. Find someone that you're learning all your foundation from and not just trying to piece things together on your own. And understand that you're never going to have everything figured out. So don't try to have everything figured out before you get started. Learn the basics, get your proper foundation, and then implement a proven plan from a mentor, okay? Do not collect information and not do anything on it, okay? So for those of you that are resonating with this, if you feel like you're just collecting information, drop that in a comment below. Let me know that that's how you're feeling, because I am so thankful that I got out of this as a new investor. I was in the same habit. I was collecting that information and not taking action on it. Okay, so make sure that you guys are not falling into that same trap. Drop a comment below, let me know. All right, the next one is lack of implementation. Okay, This literally is the number one reason why most new investors fail. Okay. Look, I'll give you a quick story that kind of explains what I mean here. Okay. So I used to own a real estate investor education, RIA is what they call them. So people would come in, I would have, 200-300 people a month. They would come in and they would, meet with other investors. We would have a speaker, or I would train, or something along those lines. I was one of the first ones in my area to kind of set this up. This is going back probably almost 15 years ago. RIAs are very popular now. I'm sure there's one in your area. Real estate investor education, is super important, obviously, but going to these RIAs, I would meet with people that had been trying to get started investing in real estate for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and they had never done a deal. But what they would do is they would be the first one that would want to buy the information every single time. If we had a guest speaker, or they would say, I got all these training courses. Oh, great. How many deals have you done? Oh, well, I haven't done any deals. Look, these are people that are collecting information and never implementing this. And this is literally the number one reason why most new investors fail, is because they are not going to implement the information. They are just looking to buy the training course, and they hope that, if I have this training course, then I'm going to be able to do my first deal. You're never going to just magically do deals. You have to actually implement what's in the training. All right. Look, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been mentoring and helping people do deals for over the last 10 years. And this is the number one thing that I see. So many people come in and say, well, I've bought every single course out there and I still haven't done a deal. How can you actually help me do a deal? Well, the reason why I can help so many new investors do deals is because I give them a proven plan to follow, versus, trying to give them more information. I show them, okay, let's accelerate this and implement as we go. So step one, this is the very first thing we need to do. Let's do this before we learn about step number two. Once you've done step number one, let's learn about step number two, implement step number two, and then we'll learn about step number three, implement step number three, and move on and so forth. So for those of you that are out there watching YouTube videos every day, for those of you that are buying training courses or going through mentorships, if you haven't done a deal yet, stop and think, am I implementing the information, or am I just consuming the information? 9 times out of 10, most people are just consuming the information and then wondering why they're not able to do a deal. And the reason why is because they're not actually implementing what they're learning. Okay. So what you need to do is find the right mentor that's willing to help you. Start with step one and take action as you go. They'll teach you step one, implement it. Teach you step two, implement that, and move on and so forth. Do not try to consume everything and then take action. That's the biggest mistake so many new investors make. They'll buy a training course. They'll go through all 40 modules. Once they're done with the 40 modules, they'll be like, what's next? How come I haven't done a deal? Instead of going through module one, implementing, going through module two, implementing. So for those of you that are struggling with lack of implementation, drop a comment below. Let me know if you guys feel like you're struggling with implementation. All right. And I'll definitely reach out and talk about some ways that we can kind of help you with that. All right. Step number 4. What is the fourth thing that I see holds so many new investors back? Well, that is going to be choosing the wrong marketing strategies for your budget. Now, this video, we can't go through and do everything as far as marketing goes, just because there's too much to cover. And I've got several other videos here in the group to where we talk about marketing. But what you need to understand is that you need to choose the right marketing strategies. There's 2 types of strategies out there, what we call primary marketing strategies, secondary marketing strategies. So primary strategies are going to be the main things you need to focus on. So inbound and outbound marketing strategies, whether it's texting, cold calling, direct mail, or inbound strategies like pay-per-click or driving people into your funnel. Secondary strategies are going to be things like bandit signs, driving for dollars. You want to focus on primary marketing strategies. So if you guys are struggling with marketing, drop a comment below and I can link you to some other videos to talk about that. But choosing the wrong marketing strategy for your budget is one of the biggest reasons why new investors fail. Another big thing is targeting sellers that just aren't motivated. So talking to people that want retail, that's a big struggle for new investors. Focusing on the wrong strategies for your budget. What I mean by that would be, let's say, for example, you got a $500 marketing budget, and you're choosing to do the wrong strategies with that budget. You're not going to generate enough leads to put a deal together. So for example, if you have a $500 marketing budget and you're trying to do direct mail or cold calling, the likelihood of you putting a deal together is going to be pretty slim, just because the response rates with those marketing strategies are so low. Whereas we can help you choose the right marketing strategies based on what your budget is. And you have to understand right now, when it comes to wholesaling, you're not necessarily a real estate investor, because we're not actually buying properties. What we're in a marketing business. It's really all about finding the right sellers. And that's our goal as wholesalers and our job as wholesalers. So marketing is the single most important thing for you to do in your business. So when it comes to choosing the right marketing strategies, that is going to be key. So again, I can't make this video all about marketing and give that to you. I've got tons of other videos. So if you guys are struggling with marketing, drop a comment below. Let me know marketing, and I'll send you over some other videos to help you out with that. But if you're struggling with marketing, that is a big reason why you're not able to do deals. If you're not talking to 10, 15, 25 sellers a day, you need to step up your game, because you have to talk to a lot of people to make sure that you're putting deals together. Okay. All right. The fifth thing that we want to talk about is the big reason why new investors are failing in this business is because they're giving up too quickly. Now, what I mean by that is you're giving up too quickly on a lot of things, especially marketing is one of them, or just real estate in general. So typically when new investors first get started, they're going to hear some guru say, okay, I need to do driving for dollars, or okay, I need to do text message marketing, or okay, I need to do cold calling. And they might cold call 15 or 20 people and say, oh, well, I only got a hold of one person. I'm going to give up and try something else. Literally, that is the number one thing that new investors do that's holding them back, is moving on too quickly, giving up too quickly. You have to understand that, look, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. And if you're not thinking about this in a logical manner, texting is not going to work for you overnight. Cold calling is not going to work for you overnight. Direct mail is not going to work for you overnight. There's so many things that you need to consider, that if you're giving up too quickly and just bouncing around from strategy to strategy to strategy, it's never going to work. I can guarantee that you can do deals with every single marketing strategy out there. If you do it enough, you're going to get enough leads, and you're going to get someone that's going to be motivated to sell. But again, it's really all about understanding the right strategies for you. But giving up too quickly is going to be a huge mistake that I see so many new investors make. So if you're guilty of bouncing around from strategy to strategy because this one didn't work for you or that one didn't work for you, drop a comment below. Because seriously, if you're not, let's take for example with text message marketing. Let's say you build a list of 1,000 people, you send that text message out to that. You're probably going to get a hold of maybe 250 to 350 people on that list of 1,000. 99% of those people are not going to want to sell, or if they do want to sell, they're going to want retail. Now, in your mind, you're probably thinking, oh, well, texting doesn't work. Texting does work. You got a hold of 25 to 35% of a list. But the reason why that didn't work for you right off the bat, if you didn't get a deal from those people, is because those are the easy people to get a hold of that everybody else is texting to. The thing is, you need to dive a lot deeper into that list. So that's where your education is going to come in. And if you had a mentor that you're working with, they can steer you clear on what your next step is. So maybe step one was sending a text message out to that list to find out all the people that didn't want to sell. That's more important than actually finding people that do want to sell, because we're going to be able to figure out who we couldn't reach. There's still 70% of that list that you weren't able to reach. That's going to be where your deals are going to come from. So if you give up too soon, that's going to be a huge mistake. So literally giving up too quickly is one of the biggest mistakes that so many new investors make. And a lot of this is going to tie into a lot of the other reasons that I mentioned above. So giving up too quickly on your marketing, giving up too quickly on doing your first deal. You didn't know how to do that because you didn't have the right foundation. You didn't have the right training and stuff like that. So giving up too quickly is going to be something that so many new investors struggle with. So it's really important to identify someone that you can learn from instead of trying to collect all this information on your own. Find someone that can say, okay, this is the first step, this is the second step, implement those things and follow through and have the guidance and the training to make sure that you're not giving up too quickly. So again, I feel like the key to being successful as a real estate investor when you're new is having the right education and implementing a proven plan. So what can you do with this information that I've shared with you today? If you know that the top 5 things are listed above, how can we steer clear of those things? Well, the one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is identifying the right education that you need, not overeducating yourself, getting a good foundation, finding a mentor that can help you with a proven plan that you can implement. From there, making sure that you're sticking with strategies and not giving up too quickly, not bouncing around from thing to thing to thing. Those are going to be the things that you need to make sure that you're focusing on if you want to be successful in wholesaling. Don't get caught up in bouncing around from thing to thing to thing. You want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to get your first deal. So most of you probably don't need more information, okay? Unless you're completely new and have never gone through a training course, or if you're not collecting information from YouTube or podcasts or stuff like that, most people don't need more information. They either need to implement what information you already have and stick with it without jumping around from strategy to strategy, or if you're the type of person that's looking for more help, if you're looking for more of a mentorship type thing, make sure you find a mentor that can help. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between you doing it on your own versus a mentor. So what most people do is they will go out and they'll get on every podcast, they'll consume as much information on YouTube, they get information overload, they understand the general basics of everything, but they don't have a proven plan. Most YouTube videos aren't going to say, all right, now you understand everything. This is the exact first step. This is the second step. This is the third step. And that's really what most people need is a step 1, step 2, step 3, a proven plan they can implement. So that's why I say it's not usually more information. Usually people just need a proven plan that they can follow. And that's the reason why I recommend that you find a mentor that can actually help you in this business. So for those of you that are looking for step-by-step help, if you want more help, I don't know if I'm going to be the right fit for you. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I do work with students one-on-one. I'd love to see how I can help. So if you are interested and want more help versus more information and you're looking for a proven plan to follow, just drop a comment below, just drop help and I'll reach out to you, talk about some ways maybe we can help. We'll see kind of where you're at in the business, what things are working for you, what's not working for you. Maybe I send you over some resources. Maybe I send you over some training. If I think it's a good fit and we can maybe, work together one-on-one, I can send you more information on that as well. But for those of you guys that are looking to get help, just drop a comment below, just drop the comment and help. And I'll reach out and talk about some ways that we can help you out. I really appreciate you guys joining me for this. If you guys found the information helpful, drop a comment below or like it. We really want to try to get this out there to as many people as possible. So the more you comment, the more you like it and stuff like that, that's going to help kind of share that information out there. But literally the 5 things that I share with you today are the most common things that I've seen over the last 20 years that new investors struggle with. And if you can kind of sidestep those things, you're going to be so much better off. And the likelihood of you being able to do your first deal is going to go up dramatically. So thanks again for joining us. If you want more help, just drop a comment below, just drop the word help, and I will reach out and talk about some ways that we can help you out. So thanks again, everybody, for joining me. I will look forward to talking to you guys all soon.